Well, I want you to watch this interview I did on a podcast with a nice fellow, Brendan Davis. And he's a consultant that helps people start businesses. And so we went over the ways that you could use government money and help to start a business. And I really believe that. You don't need money. You just need to know where to go to get the free stuff to do it, whether if it's money, but many sitting down and getting marketing help, getting management help, getting expertise and filling out forms, or any of that stuff is all free if you know where to go. And I put some websites here in the beginning, SBA.gov/local-assistance. You go there, you put in your zip code. What you want to do is find, and when you put in your zip code, you'll get anywhere from 2 or 3 to 10, 20, 30 organizations that are nonprofit that help you for free to solve any problem of starting a business, starting a nonprofit, working on an invention, or a real estate investor, or just being a freelancer at home. That's all free. Also, EDA.gov. You go there and you see in your state, there'll be 10, 20, 30 organizations that are just there to help you start a business. The government wants you to start a business because then you'll make money and you'll pay more taxes or you'll hire more people. So that's why they have all these programs. And another one is findhelp.org, findhelp.org, because you only want to deal with ORG or GOV. And they help you with anything in living expenses, your rent, your utility, anything you want. So take a look at that too. Just put in your zip code and start talking to people. That's how you get money. You don't get money by looking for an application to fill out. No, you get money by finding the groups in your area that help you get that money. They'll tell you exactly who to apply for. And if they can't help you directly, they ask them, hey, where else can I go? Okay? The worst thing you could do is go to Google, unless you have a credit card. So watch this and have some fun.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Get Over Yourself podcast. Today, I am joined by a man who loves his colorful suits and helping your business find government funding and what he considers almost free money. And I will argue that a little bit here later in the episode, Matthew. We'll see what the definition of free money is, but I'm excited nonetheless. As a startup founder myself, I really felt your message was going to resonate for the audience today. A bunch of young entrepreneurs trying to figure out how on earth they're going to get their business off the ground. So guys, Matthew Lesko, often recognized by his colorful suits adorned with question marks, is an American author, entrepreneur, and self-styled information guru, known for promoting access to government grants and financial resources. Born on May 11th, just a couple days after my birthday, I may add, 1943 in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Matthew gained widespread attention in the 1990s through infomercials promoting his books, which guide readers on how to apply for grants, government loans, and other forms of free financial assistance. Matthew holds an MBA from American University and began his career working for large corporations, but he shifted his focus to educating the public about government funding. His distinctive persona, marked by his energetic delivery and quirky wardrobe, which if anyone is out there actually watching today's episode on YouTube or Spotify, you may notice that, made him a memorable figure in pop culture. Matthew claims his mission is to empower everyday people by helping them understand how to access government funds they may be unaware of. Guys, in today's episode, Matthew's going to tell us how we can get government assistance for starting our businesses. So hopefully we can give back to the world, and especially here in the United States, a little bit more fully with whatever we're making. Because at the end of the day, the definition of an entrepreneur is they're making something that is going to improve the lives of others. So hopefully with your advice today, Matthew, we can do just that. So with that being said, let's jump into today's episode. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
So you told me right before we hit record, you're calling in from Washington, D.C. We're just post-election and stuff. You said it's a little bit of mourning over there.
Right.
But you still seem like you got all smiles on your face. You seem like a very happy
Every
guy.
day,
Tell
man.
us.
You can't rely on somebody else to make you happy.
Amen to that.
So that's what my theory is. You got to throw your own party. Nobody's going to throw you a party. Nobody gives a shit about you. We're all worried about ourselves. So if you want to have fun in life, you got to throw your own party. That's why I wear crazy suits and people see me and they smile. And so now I have my own little party every day.
So I really got to bring this up again, guys. If you're listening to this episode while you're driving, maybe go back. You could continue listening, but maybe go back and watch this on YouTube or on Spotify or something later. Tell us a little bit about the wardrobe with all the question marks and the funky, spunky suits you got going on.
Well, I've always been a clothes horse in a way, and Armani suits when I was more business to business stuff. And that was expensive. But I always had in my mind, for some reason, to have some kind of, clothing would be easy if I had my own kind of wardrobe, or not a like a uniform, but something like that. I remember I was watching car racing on Andy Granatelli, who ran STP stuff, and he would be at all the races in a suit that had STP logos on it. Hey, I thought that was cool. I was probably 12 years old or something like that. So that was always in my mind. Then I'd run into other people like Jacques Cousteau. I was on Capitol Hill with a futuristic society that would bring people in to talk to Congress about it. And Jacques Cousteau, he wore little Nehru jackets and had a little outfit, that's cool. So finally, I helped about, and then I started doing talk shows. The thing that talk shows I found is that they don't care what you say, it's how you say it. So to get free advertising, I realized that the more I entertain, the more talk shows I get.
That makes sense.
Give me, like Letterman, I was on there maybe about 7 times or something like that. Larry King a whole bunch, and Oprah a couple times, and I was the guy they would call when somebody canceled. If somebody canceled, they'd get me, man. You're going to give me, 10 minutes of national airtime for nothing? I'm there, no matter what.
I love it.
But more I see, I thought I'd have to. My biggest fear was that I'd have to defend my honor every day, or something. Being a guy growing up in the 50s and 60s, all this macho shit, it's still there. And that was my biggest fear. I remember when I first started wearing question mark suits, it was like walking on a crate of eggs for every step. I remember going through the airports and stuff like that, and nothing.
Hey, I gotta get this right then. Are you rocking this on a daily occurrence, even if you're not doing like a podcast or something?
Shit, every day.
I love it.
I run in suits like this and everything every day. Yeah. No, I mean, this is me. And that's what it was. I even lost millions of dollars because they threw me off the air. I was on home shopping and I decided to do this. And I would go down there, sell 30,000 books in a day. It's crazy. And they didn't want me to wear the suit. And I said, this is me, and this is me inside. And that's what really changed. The more I start living inside out. So if you're a young entrepreneur like I was at your age, and I got an MBA, and I was starting businesses and they're failing, and everything was failing, man. And I wasn't having fun. I was doing things like everybody told me to do. I'd fail, I'd lose money, and I wouldn't have fun. And I said, holy shit, now this is crazy. I'm trying to do something I'm not going to have fun at, and maybe have fun in the future. Now that's nuts. I did that twice, and I got to change this game. I don't want to live like this. And so I said, okay, I'm going to have fun now. Have fun now, and don't spend money, and work it out that way. And that's when it changed, because this is me inside, and I think what we have as an entrepreneur, anybody in this country, if we want to help other people and give to other people, we have to give the best we have. And most of us are trying to copy somebody else. And that's not the best. They're doing that better than you because it's their nature. So you have to find inside of you, and that takes trial and error more than anything else, to see what works for you that's inside you're comfortable with. That's why anything you're going to do, you're going to fail. I mean, no matter what. I mean, you learn to walk, you learn to ride a bike, you learn the computer. I mean, the beginning is fail, 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 fail. So if you're following somebody else's recipe, well, I don't think that's good, because you're going to fail anyway. And then somewhere along the line, and then you'll blame the guy who sold you the recipe on, oh, that asshole, I knew he was wrong. And you don't learn from failure. The only way you're going to grow in any way is by getting out there and falling on your ass and picking it up and doing it again, because then you learn. You have to learn from it because it's your idea. Somebody else's idea, you just believe them. And then you grow. And that's why then you have to dig deeper. You didn't dig deep enough in what's you, and then how to match that with what somebody's going to buy. And like when I did very well when talking about the 90s and everything, boy, then people stopped buying books. I was SOL, and it took me years to find out. Not only I knew the information was still good, and people needed it, but how do people buy it? So you have your skill, or you what you want to give to the world. Now you have to figure out how are people gonna buy that? People aren't gonna buy reference books anymore. People think they know everything because they got Google. What I found after a lot of trial and error, after a lot of success, and success is really a handicap. Because if you, a young person like that, I'd rather hang around you than some old fart like me who has a lot of success because you're just looking for opportunities. People who've had success are trying to recreate that shit that worked 10 years ago. Ain't gonna work again, man. Get over it. And you're not looking ahead well enough, like a young person. So you have to, I think, a young entrepreneur have to see what they have. Now your mission is, how do you package that in a way that people want to buy that? And that's the trial and error. So if you have something really think that the people need, but it's how it's packaged, how it's whatever it is and that is just doing over and over again and trying. You try 100 things and get lucky, but you don't get lucky until you try 100 things.
So Matthew, where did you start your journey specifically then? You obviously made it your point after you kind of went through corporate America, you kind of transitioned into this sense of finding out government grants for young businesses and startups. Where did you even learn about that to begin with? And tell us a little bit about your journey throughout, because I'm sure that's definitely, like you just mentioned, it's probably changed over the past 10, 15, 20, 25 years.
But it's all the same. When everything was failing, then I became a consultant. Yeah, that's what you do. When you can't do it yourself, you teach other people.
I love it.
But I was working for Fortune 500 companies, so you do have people with money. So I do research for them, my MBA or whatever, and trying to get information for them and money to help their businesses grow. And I was in Washington. I didn't know anything about Washington, but I wanted to get paid. Wanted to answer their questions. I scrambled and do it. And I was finding, God, I could find everything, no matter what. Like Procter & Gamble want to start a chain of pasta stores. Well, go in the libraries and stuff like that. Then I found out, hey, the Department of Commerce has a pasta expert, a pasta store expert, sitting in the Department of Commerce, getting paid $50 to $100 grand a year to study the market. So I'd find him, I make a phone call, go sit in his office, and he would give me studies.
I gotta ask, is this a real example?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Next question I have for you. You continue the story. Next question I have for you though is about what your opinions on this new Doge group is going to be with Vivek and Elon. That's my next question. But continue.
Well, yeah, but that's it. So now I said, God, I could get anything. I'm a schmuck like me from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I didn't know about this stuff, and so I wanted to help the average. So I was helping millionaires become billionaires using the government. And I got a little bored of that because they are not soulful people, many of them. They care about money and not the rest of the world. And so I want to help the average person. How want they know about it? Where I grew up, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, where the government was the IRS and the DMV and the post office. And that was it. And all these resources that are sitting under the ground for anybody to take advantage of, money, help, expertise, it's better than anywhere else in the world. And we just walk right by it. And so how do I get that? So that was by books. And I got lucky, and I flunked English in college. I never thought I'd write a book, let alone have 2 New York Times bestsellers, man. So I was really big shit by then, at least in my mind. And then people stopped buying books. So then, and just recently, about 2 years ago, 3 years maybe, find the way to educate people now, community. In other words, it's not an expert telling them what to do. It's now we have 12,000 people looking for grants that are helping other people look for grants. So when they get something, they share it with other people. So I am really a handicap because I've been studying this 50 years, so I can't relate to somebody who's just starting out now. Mm-hmm. But another member can. And it's cheap as hell. I used to, of Fortune 500 people, like tens of thousands of dollars. Now for $20, I make a lot of profit. We make so much profit at $20 that we give 40% of our money back to members. we give out like $70,000 every month to members
I love it.
in small grants. Yeah. And I just read the other day that Facebook is giving $100 million of grants, to businesses. And I looked at their sales, which is 140 billion, and they're given 100 million, which is 0.0007% of their sales. We give 40% of our sales. It's nowhere near 100 billion, but it's $70,000 a month, and that I'm very proud of. I thought I had to be Gates or somebody like that to be able to do that, but no, anybody can, and it's such a pleasure to do that, because giving is the most selfish thing in the world. There's nothing more selfish, because the feeling you get when you're giving
I like that.
It's just phenomenal. So that's why we have a community, a giving community, a loving community, that we just try to love each other and help each other with what it is, because we're all struggling. And that's why telling somebody else to do in life, I think, is immoral, because we're all struggling ourselves. And I think, what, I should tell you how to live? I don't know how to live myself. I'm guessing every day. So to me,
where would a young business owner who's just getting started on their journey go to join this community of yours?
Well, I'm going to charge you $20, so you don't have to do that. You do this first. You go to SBA.gov, but you don't want to talk to the SBA. No, they don't give money. But SBA.gov, then put /local-assistance. Are you online now?
Yeah.
Can you go online?
Let's see if I can. I haven't done this live. We're gonna do a live presentation here, guys. I've never done this before in the Get Over Yourself podcast. Once again, another reason why you should be watching today's episode. Let's see if we can do this. Let's go here. I'm gonna share my screen. Matthew, we're doing something completely brand new. You're getting me out of my comfort zone. Here we go.
SBA.gov, G-O-V.
.gov/local assistance.
Yeah. .assistance. You forgot that dash. I forgot to tell you.
Where at? So I got SBA.gov
LOCAL-assistance.
All right, guys, here we are live on the show. We got the website itself.
Go down a little bit. Put in your zip code.
All right, where are we looking?
Up on top. Go
on top. Oh, here we go.
There you go. Yeah. Put in your zip code.
All right, here we go. Search nearby.
Okay. Go down and see how many you have. Maybe you only have 2. You're out in the middle of nowhere there. Okay, you have 4. So you have 4 nonprofit organizations that get grants just to help you find money, help, technical expertise, legal expertise, get out of debt, marketing, anything you need, all for free. That's all for free. You're going to go to Google and try to find help. Somebody's going to get thousands of dollars out of you. Yeah. And this is all free. And see, most of the grants for business are mostly local. Also, there's one in there too called Apex Accelerators.
Yep.
And that's what you want to do to get government contracts. That's bigger than anything. And that's what you're in business to do something. The government buys more of anything than anybody else. But that's marketing people that will market for you in the government, show you how to do that step by step, fill out the CREP forms and all that kind of stuff without hiring anybody to do that.
That's awesome.
My sister was she had a business. She was framing things for the government, made $1 million out of a garage.
So tell us a little bit about the community you've created now, Matthew.
Yeah.
You can do these simple steps, but you've obviously made it into a business yourself, and we want to support you as listeners here on the Get Over Yourself podcast. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's teaching people these sources. There's one more source I think everybody really needs. What we do is people need hand-holding. They haven't done it before. We have like 3 or 4 hours every day. We have members that are live. We call them navigators, to help you with any question. So how do you do this? Where'd you go? How do you fill out this form? Whatever. Where do I go with that? So it's all that, that's available. That kind of help. Plus, it's the largest database of all these money programs that's available. So you get one-on-one, and then members help members all the time. And that's why, to me, that's the secret sauce, I think, of what we have. Because everybody else is selling a database, you do it, and then you really don't know what the hell's going on. But somebody's holding your hand all the time, and you can ask us 100 questions a day, and all for $20. Because they're the people who really need help, because the people can afford hiring people for thousands of dollars to do this. I mean, it's just stupid.
That makes sense.
But there's one other site I wish everybody knows, and that's findhelp.org.
All right, we're going to do this one more time.
Good.
Matthew,
good.
you're getting me out of my comfort zone today. I love it.
I understand.
All right, tell me, what
you
was
could
it?
take
Find what?
Yeah. Find help, one word, then .org.
All right, let's check this out.
Okay, so you're an entrepreneur trying to start and not making money. Oh, shit, I can't pay my rent. Okay, you go to findhelp.org, put in your zip code.
All right, here we go.
Okay, now up on the left-hand side, put rent.
Where are we? No, up here?
Yeah, the little search there.
Let's check this out, rent.
Okay, you have 49 organizations that help you with free money and help to pay rent.
There you go.
49, not one, 49.
I think I could scroll. There it is. Yeah, there's the 49 number right there. I could scroll for days on this website. What other programs do they help you with besides rent? I'm assuming food.
Right. See the tabs in front on top.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. Food, housing, commercial
Actually,
goods.
Put in job training. So you could get entrepreneur job training or stuff like that. It's wonderful.
Let's see this one.
For free job.
I have job training and education right there.
Yeah, there's 119 for that.
Very cool.
This is all free. Every one of these programs give money. They don't ask for money.
I like it.
Or you have a small business. You need to train somebody. They'll train your workers for free. They'll pay the workers to learn. In other words, they'll give you money to hire people that don't have skills and then pay their rent for their salary for the first couple of months until they get productive for you.
I like it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So Matthew, as we're closing out on today's episode, you've obviously shared a couple powerful websites on where people can go and get some of these, get more information. Basically, you're not giving them the complete roadmap, but you're giving them the lay of the land on where they can get started, which is amazing. That's what everyone needs to do, and go in and do your own research so you can figure it out. Tell us any final pieces of advice or tips you give to young founders who are trying to get their businesses off the ground. Obviously, one of the biggest restraints that people have, or at least they think they have at the very beginning, is the lack of funds. And I'm gonna make the claim right now that I don't think that's necessarily what stops many businesses. I understand at the end of the day, you need to pay yourselves, and you need to afford food, you need to afford rent. But at the end of the day, what you truly need is a powerful product, and go out there and actually sell that powerful product. Because if you're relying on grants 24/7, there's going to be an issue where at the end of the day, you still can't sell your product. So give us your final thoughts on that.
Well, I don't think you need money for a product. I don't think you need money for a business. I don't think you should spend $1 before you find a customer. The thing that determines your success is not if you're an LLC or you have a fancy office. None of that matters at all until you get a customer. So you should spend 24/7 taking samples, taking anything. That's why I like things like you don't even need a product because you could do a website on what do you call it? A GoFundMe kind of thing that I'm going to do this. Would you want to buy it? So you're selling your idea to potential customers. Don't ask your friends, don't ask your relatives. They're just going to give you bullshit or be nice to you, unless they're your customers. If they're not I just do that with my commercials. I do a commercial and before I put them on the air. I show my friends and stuff. They never bought anything from TV. What am I saying? So the only thing that's important and what people say are your customers, not any expert, not anybody. And follow your heart. Your heart is smarter than your brain. And we get too much education, so we think our brain is the most important thing, and you can always find a reason not to do something. So everything you do, you're going to have roadblocks and everything. So that's why your heart has to be there for you to get over all that shit that's going to happen. And you can't spend money because you're going to spend money and run out of money before you figure out how to make it. So the key is you find ways to start anything without a business, without money, without investing anything. Do it out of your garage. Do it, anywhere. Partner with somebody who has a retail store and give them a corner over there to put your crap in or whatever it is. But now you can have a store online for $20. So what the hell? And
I love
find customers. You're going to have to do that. So you're going to raise $100,000 to get all this infrastructure and then go find customers. That's nuts. Because you're only going to stay in business if you learn to find customers. So do that first, not after you spend a lot of money.
I agree with you 100%, Matthew. Guys, if you ever want to reach out to Matthew personally, I'll include all of his links in the episode description as always below. I'll include also these 2 websites that he gave us and any other online resources out there. Make sure to once again check out the episode description and go say hi to Matthew and support him on his journey of helping young entrepreneurs and founders figure out what the heck and where to go on their journey, because this journey is quite crazy. So with that all being said, guys, we'll see you next week for another episode of the Get Over Yourself podcast.